If you keep doing in 2026 what you did in 2025, don't expect a different life. Time doesn't change people, decisions do. My dear friends, as this new year stands in front of you, full of blank pages, I know something about you. You are hopeful, but you are also afraid. You want growth, but you are tired of promises you made to yourself and couldn't keep. You want peace, but your mind is noisy. You want success, but somewhere deep inside you wonder, will this year also pass like the others? Today, I don't want to give you motivation. I want to give you direction. Because when direction is right, even slow steps take you far. Let me share with you 7 simple truths. Not dramatic, not complicated. But if you live them, your 2026 will not look like your past. Most people spend their entire life waiting to feel confident, waiting to feel ready, waiting for the right time, the right mood, the right support, and quietly, life keeps moving. I have met so many intelligent, talented, capable people who never failed. Not because they were weak, but because they were waiting. Waiting for the moment when fear disappears. Waiting for certainty. Waiting for approval. Let me tell you something gently but honestly, that moment does not exist. If confidence was a requirement before reaction, no child would ever learn to walk. The child doesn't wait until balance is mastered. The child falls again and again, and one day walking becomes natural. We don't grow confident first and then act. We act and confidence follows. But somewhere along the way, we reversed the order. We decided we must feel strong before starting. We must feel fearless before trying. We must feel sure before committing. That belief quietly kills potential. Because the truth is, fear doesn't leave before action. Fear leaves because of action. When you wait for the perfect moment, you are not being patient. You are being afraid in a polite way. And fear is very clever. It never comes and says, don't do this. It comes and says, do it later. Later is the most dangerous word. Later sounds harmful. Yes, later sounds responsible. Later sounds wise. But later slowly becomes never. You don't need more clarity to begin. Clarity comes after you begin. You don't need full confidence to take the first step. You only need enough courage to move 1 inch forward. In life, momentum is more powerful than motivation. Once you move, even imperfectly, something changes inside you. Energy shifts, doubt weakens. Hence, the mind stops overthinking and starts cooperating. But if you stay still, the mind becomes your enemy. It starts creating imaginary fears. It exaggerates risks. It reminds you of past failures. It convinces you that waiting is safer than trying. Let me ask you something personal. How many dreams have you postponed because you were not ready? How many opportunities passed because you thought, I'll do it next year? How many versions of yourself are still locked inside you, waiting for permission? Life does not reward perfection. Life rewards participation. The world is full of people who were not the best, but they were brave enough to start. And the world is also full of people who were capable of greatness, but never began. If you want 2026 to be different, you must stop negotiating with fear. Start small, but start now. Don't wait to have the perfect plan. Take the first step. The plan will evolve. Don't wait to feel inspired. Act. Inspiration will follow. Don't wait for approval. Growth rarely asks for permission. Even spiritual growth begins with imperfect effort. No one starts disciplined. No one starts focused. No one starts fearless. We all start messy. But the Soul respects effort. Life respects sincerity. And God supports movement. When you take one honest step forward, unseen forces begin to align. Help appears, strength grows, courage multiplies, waiting keeps you comfortable, action makes you capable, and capability builds destiny. So if there is one thing you must leave behind in 2025, let it be this habit of waiting for the right time. The right time is not a feeling. The right time is a decision. Decide that fear will no longer drive your life. Decide that progress matters more than perfection. Decide that you are done postponing the person you were meant to become. Because years don't change lives. Moments of courage do. And the most powerful moment of courage is the moment you begin, even when you are unsure, that single step taken today has the power to rewrite your entire 2026. Now listen carefully, because this truth decides who lasts and who disappears halfway. Most people love motivation. They love the feeling of being inspired. They love the rush, the goosebumps, the sudden confidence. But motivation is like good weather, beautiful and unreliable. Some mornings you wake up full of fire. Some mornings you wake up EMP. Thank you. And if your life depends on how you feel each day, your life will be unstable. This is where discipline enters quietly. Without drama, discipline is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel exciting, but it is powerful. Discipline is choosing to do what needs to be done, even when your emotions vote against it. You don't pray because you feel spiritual every day. You pray because you value connection. You don't work hard because you feel motivated every day. You work hard because you respect your future. Motivation asks, how do I feel today? Discipline asks, who do I want to become? And the people who win in life are not the most talented, not the most confident, but the most consistent. Consistency beats intensity. Anyone can give one intense effort. Few people can show up daily. Discipline is waking up when you don't feel like it. Sitting down to work when distractions are calling. Choosing rest when ego wants to keep scrolling. Choosing silence when drama wants attention. It's boring. And that's why it works. Let me tell you something honest. Your future will not be shaped by the big decisions you make once in a while. It will be shaped by the small decision you make every single day. What time you sleep, what time you wake up, what you do in the first hour of the day, what you do when no one is watching. These ordinary moments are building something extraordinary or destroying it. People often say, I don't feel motivated anymore. My question is, why are you waiting to feel something before you act? Your feelings are followers. They follow your actions. If you wait for motivation to appear before you work, you'll stay stuck. But if you work first, even without motivation, motivation will slowly return. Discipline trains the mind to obey purpose, not pleasure. And once the mind learns obedience, life becomes simpler. You stop arguing with yourself. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop wasting energy on internal conflict. You just do what needs to be done. Not because it feels good, but because it is right. And here is the quiet miracle of discipline. It builds self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Not fake confidence, not loud confidence, real confidence. The kind that doesn't need validation. You begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, fear loses power. Discipline so creates freedom, not restriction. That may sound strange, but it's true. A disciplined mind is free from chaos. A disciplined routine is free from regret. A disciplined life is free from panic. When you control your habits stop controlling you. Most stress in life doesn't come from workload. It comes from lack of structure. When your days are disorganized, your mind becomes noisy. But when your routine is clear, your mind becomes calm, and calm is a superpower. You don't need extreme discipline, you need honest discipline. Start small, one fixed wake-up time, one focused work block, one daily spiritual or reflective practice, one habit done consistently. Don't try to change your entire life in 1 week. That's not discipline, that's ego. Discipline respects patience. It's I will build slowly, but I will build permanently. If you want 2026 to be different, don't depend on motivation. Design a routine that supports your future self. On days when motivation disappears, and it will, discipline will carry you forward. And one day you will look back and realize you didn't change because you felt inspired, you changed because you stayed committed. That is how real transformation happens, quietly, daily, faithfully. Most people think their problem is lack of talent, lack of luck, or lack of support. But very often the real problem is something simpler. They cannot sit with discomfort. The moment things become hard, they look for escape. The moment it becomes boring, they look for distraction. The moment it becomes uncomfortable, they look for an exit. Be you. True growth lives exactly there, in discomfort. Think about the gym. The muscle doesn't grow when it is comfortable. It grows when it is under strain. The same is true for your character. If you always choose comfort, your life will shrink. If you choose growth, your life will stretch, and stretching hurts. We live in a world that teaches us to avoid pain at all costs. Scroll when you're bored, eat when you're stressed, distract when you're anxious. So the moment silence appears, we run. The moment loneliness appears, we panic. The moment struggle appears, we quit. But silence is not empty. Silence is where you hear yourself. Loneliness is not a weakness. Loneliness is where you meet yourself. Struggle is not punishment. Struggle is preparation. The reason many people feel stuck is not because life is unfair. It's because they abandon the process too early. They start something new and expect quick results. When results don't appear, doubt appears. And when doubt appears, quitting feels logical. But quitting doesn't remove discomfort. It only postpones growth. If you leave the gym because your body aches, you don't become fit. If you leave a goal because it feels hard, you don't become strong. You become comfortable, and comfort slowly becomes regret. Let me say this clearly. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is changing. When you feel resistance, it means you are touching your limits. And limits are meant to be expanded, not obeyed. But this requires patience. You must learn to sit in the fire without running away. Sit with boredom without picking up the phone. Sit with confusion without quitting the path. Sit with loneliness without doubting your worth. Sit with effort without demanding instant reward. This is where faith is tested. Faith is not believing when everything is going well. Faith is continuing when nothing makes sense yet. There will be seasons where your efforts are invisible. No praise, no validation, no applause, only you and your commitment. Those seasons are sacred because they build something rare, inner strength. People who can sit with discomfort develop depth. They don't panic easily. They don't get addicted to validation. They don't run from challenges. They become stable. And stability is what life trusts with bigger responsibilities. Every time you resist the urge to escape, you upgrade yourself. Every time you choose to stay instead of quit, you train your mind to endure. And endurance is a spiritual quality. Life is not about always feeling good. It's about becoming good. If you are uncomfortable right now, don't curse the moment. Ask what it is teaching you. If the path feels lonely, it may be because you are growing faster than your environment. If the effort feels heavy, it may be because your capacity is expanding. Don't confuse discomfort with failure. Failure is giving up. Discomfort is becoming. And one day, what once felt difficult will feel normal. What once felt impossible will feel natural. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. So if you want 2026 to truly be different, stop running from discomfort. Walk with it. Learn from it. Let it shape you. Because the version of you that can tolerate discomfort is the version of you that can handle success. And success without strength becomes a burden. Now we come to something very subtle but extremely powerful. Your life does not move in the direction of your goals. It moves in the direction of your thoughts. And your thoughts are not random. They are shaped slowly, silently. B. What you allow into your mind. Most people guard their phone, their money, their home, but they leave their mind completely unprotected. Anything can enter, any opinion, any comparison, any negativity, and then they wonder why they feel anxious, distracted, and restless. Let me tell you something important. A noisy mind cannot build a meaningful life. If your mind is constantly occupied with other people's lives, other people's success, other people's opinions, there is no space left for your own clarity. Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of peace. The moment you compare, gratitude disappears. The moment you compare, contentment dies. The moment you compare, self-worth becomes conditional. And in the age of constant exposure, comparison is unavoidable. Unless you consciously limit your inputs, you cannot think deeply. If your mind is always reacting, you cannot feel peaceful. If your mind is always consuming, you cannot hear your inner voice. If external voices are always louder, protecting your mind is not about isolation. It's about intention. What you watch, what you listen to, what you read, what conversations you entertain. These are not small choices, they are shaping your future self. If you feed your mind fear, you will live fearfully. If you feed your mind negativity, you will see problems everywhere. If you feed your mind shallow content, your thinking will become shallow. But if you feed your mind wisdom, your life gains depth. This is why silence is powerful. Silence detoxes the mind. It clears mental clutter. It allows you to observe your thoughts instead of drowning in them. A few minutes of silence every day can do more for your clarity than hours of external advice, prayer, reflection, journaling. These are not religious rituals alone. They are tools for mental hygiene. They slow you down. They ground you. They remind you of what truly matters. Most people say, I don't have time to protect my mind. But the truth is, they don't have time not to. A restless mind creates impulsive decisions. Impulsive decisions create regret. When your mind is calm, your actions become intentional. And intentional actions build a peaceful life. Let me say this gently. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. Not every opinion deserves space in your head. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to disconnect. You are allowed to choose depth over noise. In 2026, if you want clarity, reduce mental consumption, limit unnecessary scrolling, limit gossip, limit content that drains you instead of nourishing you. Replace it with silence, with wisdom, with reflection. At first it will feel uncomfortable because the mind is addicted to stimulation. But slowly something beautiful happens. Your focus improves. Your anxiety reduces. Your intuition strengthens. You begin to hear yourself again. And when you hear yourself clearly, You make better decisions. Protecting your mind is not selfish, it is responsible. Because a clear mind creates a kind heart, a disciplined life, and a stable future. If you master your mind, life becomes manageable. If you ignore your mind, life becomes chaotic. So choose Wiz. Ely. Your peace is not fragile, it just needs protection. Most people are exhausted not because they are doing too much, but because they are chasing the wrong thing. From a young age, we are taught to compete, compare marks, compare salaries, compare lifestyles, compare achievements. Slowly, life becomes a race. And in that race, even when you win, you feel strangely empty. Because competition feeds the ego, but it starves the soul. The problem with competition is not effort. The problem is obsession. When life becomes about proving you are better than others, peace disappears. There will always be someone ahead, someone richer, someone faster, someone more visible. So the finish line keeps moving, but contribution works differently. Contribution doesn't ask, am I ahead of others? It asks, am I useful to someone? And usefulness creates fulfillment. The happiest people I have met were not the ones with the most achievements. They were the ones who felt needed. When your work helps someone, when your effort makes someone's life lighter, when your success creates value beyond yourself, meaning enters your life. Ego wants applause, service wants impact. Ego asks, how do I know? Okay? Service asks, how can I help? And here is the irony. The more you focus on contribution, the more life gives you growth, because life supports those who support others. Contribution removes fear. When your intention is to serve, failure becomes less frightening, because even if things don't go perfectly, you know your heart was in the right place. Competition makes you defensive. Contribution makes you generous. Competition creates anxiety. Contribution creates peace. This doesn't mean you stop aiming high. It means you aim higher for the right reason. You still work hard. You still pursue excellence, but not to feel superior. You do it to be valuable. And value attracts opportunity naturally. In 2026, if you want fulfillment, shift your question, not how do I beat others, but how do I add value? When you walk into a room thinking about contribution, your energy changes, you listen more, you learn more, you connect more, and people feel it. The world doesn't remember those who only climbed fast. It remembers those who lifted others while climbing. Service doesn't always mean big acts. It can be simple. Helping someone understand, encouraging someone who is struggling, doing your work with sincerity, being honest when dishonesty is easier. Small acts of contribution, done consistently, create a life of quiet dignity, and dignity is deeply satisfying. When success becomes service, ego dissolves. And when ego dissolves, gratitude takes its place. Then let us talk about something that looks small, but has the power to completely transform how life feels. Gratitude. Most people think gratitude is an emotion, something you feel when life is good. But gratitude is actually a decision, a way of seeing. Two people can have the same life. One feels blessed, the other feels deprived. The difference is not circumstance, it is perspective. When you are grateful, you stop fighting reality, and when you stop fighting reality, peace enters naturally. Many people say, I will be grateful when I get more. But life works in reverse. You get more. When you are grateful for what you already have, gratitude shifts your attention. Instead of focusing on what is missing, you notice what is present. Instead of counting problems, you count blessings. and whatever you focus on starts to grow in your experience. Complaining trains the mind to see lack. Gratitude trains the mind to see abundance, and the mind sees more of what it is trained to see. Gratitude humbles you. It reminds you that much of what you have was not earned alone. Someone supported you, someone believed in you, someone sacrificed for you. Even your breath is not guaranteed. When gratitude becomes natural, arrogance fades. And when arrogance fades, life becomes lighter. Gratitude also builds resilience. When you are thankful even in difficulty, you stop feeling like a victim. You start asking better questions, not why is this happening to me, but what is this teaching me? This shift is powerful because when you learn from pain, pain loses control over you. Gratitude doesn't deny struggle. It puts struggle in perspective. It says, this is hard, but I am still supported. And that belief gives strength in a grateful end. Envy cannot survive. Because when you are aware of your own blessings, you don't feel threatened by someone else's success. You can genuinely celebrate others, and celebrating others is a sign of inner richness. Gratitude improves relationships. When you appreciate people instead of taking them for granted, connections deepen. A simple thank you, a moment of acknowledgement, a sincere word of appreciation. These small things heal more than we realize. In 2026, if you want peace, practice gratitude deliberately, not occasionally, daily. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what went right today? Who helped me today? What did I learn today? Your life may not change overnight, but your experience of life will, and experience matters. A grateful person may have fewer things, but they enjoy life more. An ungrateful person may have many things, but they are rarely satisfied. Gratitude also strengthens faith. When you acknowledge the good in your life, you trust that life is working with you, not against you, and trust removes fear. So don't wait for everything to be perfect. Before you feel thankful, be thankful and watch how life slowly aligns. Gratitude is not passive, it is powerful. It changes how you think, how you act, how you show up. And when gratitude becomes a habit, life feels richer. Even before success arrives, now we come to the final truth. Because starting is easy, staying is hard. Almost everyone begins with hope, very few continue with faith. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, quick success, overnight transformation. So when results take time, people assume something is wrong. But the deepest work in life is invisible at first. A seed grows in darkness long before it breaks the surface. And if you dig it up every day to check progress, you kill it. The same is true for your efforts. Just because you don't see results doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means something important is happening beneath the surface. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is active trust. Trust that your effort is being recorded. Trust that growth is taking place. Trust that life has its own timing. Most people quit in the silent phase, when there is no applause, no recognition, no external proof that it's working, only routine, only discipline, only faith. That phase is a test, not of your talent, but of your sincerity. Life asks quietly, will you continue even if no one notices? Those who say yes are the ones who eventually see miracles. Faith is showing up even when motivation disappears. Faith is doing the right thing. Even when rewards are delayed, faith is trusting that the dots will connect later, even if today feels confusing. There will be moments in 2026 when you will doubt yourself, moments when progress feels slow, moments when others seem to move faster, moments when quitting feels tempting. In those moments, remember this: your timeline is not a mistake. Comparison steals patience. Trust restores it. If you rush the process, you may reach somewhere faster, but you won't be ready to stay there. Preparation takes time, character takes time, wisdom takes time, stability takes time, and whatever comes quickly leaves quickly, but whatever is built slowly lasts. Trees, trust does not mean doing nothing. It means doing your part and leaving the rest. Your responsibility is effort. The outcome is not fully in your control. When you understand this, anxiety reduces. You stop forcing results. You stop panicking. You focus on what you can do today. And today is always manageable. One honest action, one disciplined choice, one step forward, that is enough. If life has delayed something, it may be protecting you. If a door hasn't opened yet, it may be because you're still becoming the person who can walk through it. Delays are not denials. They are often prepared. So don't lose heart. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep doing good work quietly, because life never forgets sincere effort. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize what felt like waiting was actually shaping you. What felt like struggle was strengthening you. What felt like uncertainty was teaching you faith. And that is when you'll understand the final truth. Life doesn't change when the year changes. Life changes when you do. Walk into 2026 with discipline, with gratitude, with service, with faith, and remember, don't let success make you proud. Let it make you grateful. Don't let failure make you bitter. Let it make you wiser, because true happiness begins when you stop competing and start contributing. And when you trust the process, even the longest journey leads exactly where you were meant to be. Life will test you, not to break you, but to reveal you. You were not created to merely survive days. You were created to grow through them. Do your part sincerely. Show up even when it's hard. Serve even when it goes unnoticed. Stay disciplined when no one is watching. Stay grateful even when things are slow. Leave the rest to God, because when effort meets faith, nothing is ever wasted. Remember this as you step into 2026. Don't ask life for ease, ask for strength. Don't ask for shortcut. TS. Ask for wisdom. Don't ask to be ahead of others. Ask to be true to your purpose. Walk honestly. Act courageously. Trust deeply, and know this with certainty. When you move with faith, even slow steps lead to destiny.